give you like a 3, 2, 1, and then just wait a couple seconds. All right. You got me. 3, 2, 1.
After the carnage 2 weeks ago at Fairbury, and everybody recovering from the tryptophan coma from last week, we moved to the Finger Lakes region of Central New York and the Weedsport Speedway. Welcome to the DOB 410 Sprint Car Series. Joey Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my new partner in crime for tonight, Mr. Liam Ervig. And Liam, your first time with the DOB boys.
Yes, it is. It's first time getting the nitty-gritty down here on the dirt too, and yeah, it's going to be a blast. I've always had a fun time running the sprint cars, but now we get to watch some of the best guys on iRacing kick them sideways, kick some dirt up against the walls, and we're going to see a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever these guys come to Weedsport, they always put on a great show. But decent-sized field tonight. Everybody should be able to make it into the A-Main. I don't believe we're going to need a consi for tonight as of right now. Couple of new names. We'll go over those as they come up. But hot lap session underway right now. And there we go. One of the new names, Richie Preston, is currently sitting atop the pile in the 25 as everybody just getting that final tweak in, because this is an open setup league, as you would expect in the sprint cars. Boy, that was a ride. That was Braden Eiler, your points leader, going for Mr. Toad's wild ride going through turn 4. But again, hot lap session underway right now. Rusty Kruger's here. Darren Detweiler's here. Kyle Stoltz is here. Ernie Williams Jr. is here. Kenny Miller's here. Braden Eiler's here. Josh Steinke's here. Mason Hannigan is back. I mean, you got all the heavy hitters in the 410s here tonight in Weedsport.
Yeah, one name that you didn't mention there, we'll take a look at right now, Richie Preston. He's been putting down some laps. He's put down about 15 right now. He's got the fastest lap in hot laps so far with an 11.6 even. I mean, that's a good look getting started here. Obviously, the tracks can change throughout the course of this night, but it's always nice to feel fast early on.
Yeah, again, Preston, one of those names that I don't recall. There he is. I do stand corrected. Preston's currently showing 6 starts with the league so far, so hasn't been here the whole season. It's kind of been hit and miss. So good to see him back with the boys. But the usual suspects up at the top of this thing, Stoltz, Detweiler, and Kruger, right up there with Preston. But looks like Preston looking to make a name here tonight, being as he has set quick time by a pretty decent margin, too, I might add. You're almost half a tenth to the good over some of the best in this league. That's saying something right there.
Yeah, it definitely does. Half a tenth adds up, especially when you're running 12-second laps, 11.5-second laps. I mean, that gap can really add up throughout the course of a couple of really good laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to keep in mind, too, is these guys do invert the top 4 for each heat race in qualifying. So, that's going to be something to be mindful of. You're still going to have some fast guys up there, but your pole sitter is going to be rolling off 4th in their heat. As here we go for qualifying. Let's see who's going to be the first one to roll. It's going to be Kevin Hanley in the 110. Chris Roberts rolling, Preston rolling. So these guys usually get after it pretty quick here. So times are going to be coming in hot and heavy as Preston takes the green for his first lap.
Look at that, Kevin Hanley right now. He's coming through turns 3 and 4, but Preston would be a good one to watch here.
Kruger going to approach the first time. Preston immediately jumps up to the top of the pile.
By 1/100th of a second over Rusty Kruger.
That's saying something right there. Kruger immediately takes it back with a 12.73. Preston not able to. He had some problems on that second lap. Mason Hannigan immediately jumps up to second quick. Those two guys have done battle just tooth and nail all season long. Mike Sheridan having a good one. Goes up to second quick. Josh Piquel not the first lap he was hoping for. Not the second lap he was hoping for either. So Kenny Miller, good grief. Kenny leaves him on the table for the rest of the kids.
Kenny Sansone taking his first lap. Gets up next to the wall there. You can see him.
Wow. How about Mark Broderick?
Ooh, buddy, a 12.5.
Blisters one. Excellent lap, sir.
I think
everybody right now slugging it out for the Red Cat Quick Time Award here tonight in Weedsport.
I think that'll just about do it for our qualifiers, though. At this point, we might have
That's everybody.
Alex Szerzynski, Tyler Henselman also finished up here. So
25 cars here tonight.
Here's our starting grid for our first heat, as we are already getting gridded up here.
Who do we have, Liam?
It looks like we're going to start off with Ernie Williams Jr., and then Josh Piquel, Brandon Eiler, Mark Broderick, Chris Roberts, Billy Rowley, and Tyler Henselman out in the 7th spot. And
so some heavy hitters in this first heat race. It's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking right around that 4th place for most of this, because that's the transfer spot. You finish 4th, you're into the A main, and you don't need to try again in another race. You get to kick back and relax for a couple more minutes. But
well, the biggest thing is the top, I believe it's 8 in qualifying, go into a little dash for the redraw into the A main. So you finish 1 or 2 in the heat race, you immediately go into that redraw. So that's going to be something to be mindful of as well. As just waiting on, everybody's here, so they should be starting to roll it behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck. And there it goes, and here we go.
This is going to be a fun one. You can see how wide the track is already. Look at all of that slick, that almost dry stuff. A lot harder than what's been pushed out to the outside, which is going to make slide jobs and moves like that a lot more interesting to see. Relatively flat track here compared to like an Eldora or a Bristol, obviously, but it's going to be a fun one. This curve back straightaway is going to kind of leave the door open for momentum, trying to get good runs up off of 2, and maybe even set up a dive bomb into 3 and 4. But we got 1 lap to go before we go green here in heat number 1 in the DOB 410s.
Absolutely, as Piquel and Williams going to bring them down to green. Williams going to have the button. Now, the leader, as soon as the pace truck leaves the racing surface, the leader can fire anywhere between the entrance of 3 and the exit of 4. Green flag will be out by the exit of 4. So it's going to be on the leader to do what they choose to on the starts and restarts here. As pace truck picks up a little bit of speed, they come through into the Red Cat restart zone. Here we go for heat race number 1. Williams gets a good jump. He's bringing Eiler and Piquel with him as they are beating and banging already.
Nice move for second place by Eiler. Trying to take it into the wall. Looks like Mark Broderick there as he's going to lose his spot. Or maybe that was Chris Roberts losing his spot to Mark Broderick at 51. Yep.
That was Broderick in the 51.
Right next to the wall, trying to go for that last transfer spot. Right on the outside of Chris Roberts. One in the wall in the back. That would be Tyler Henselman.
That was Henselman having not the time of his life right now. But that final transfer spot, hot and heavy right now, is your points leader, Braden Eiler, taking control of this one up in the front.
Oh, we got a flipper in the back. That was
Rowley.
Rowley has flipped, so that's going to bring out our first caution here. Remember, caution laps don't count. I apologize if this graphic doesn't look quite right. It should correct itself here.
Just jumps the cushion, and that used to be the pit entrance where he hit. They used to pit off of 1. and it used to be in and out right there. So it was that wall never used to be there till about maybe 10 years ago.
All right, well, we'll get a quick look here at the Rowley incident. Coming up off the floor, looks okay down the straightaway, a little sideways, and just cranks it a little too hard on the entry. Gets turned around there. Able to drive away, but we're going to get ready for another restart here. Lights are still on the pace truck this time, but...
So Eiler, Williams, Piquel, Broderick currently sitting on the inside looking out. On the outside looking in, Roberts, Henselman, and Rowley. Thing to keep in mind, these guys do not have a fast repair.
Oh, so a guy like Rowley, who's had that contact already, actually went upside down. He's got to be hoping for maybe some misfortune to go somebody else's way as well. But with only 5 laps left in this heat race, maybe 6 laps left in this heat race, that's going to be kind of a tough ask, as you see the pace truck is pulling out in front of these guys. Big gap there. I believe the lights are off on the pace truck. Brandon Eiler is going to bring us down one more time.
Eiler has the button as the pace truck makes that hard right turn onto pit road. Locks, Cox, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. Eiler, Williams, Piquel, Broderick, Roberts doing everything he can to try to get that final transfer spot to get into the redraw.
Yeah, Broderick has been rocking that outside, ripping the lip, rolling the cush right up next to that wall. And, oh, we got a crash! Ernie Williams Jr., the guy who started on pole, is now on his side. That's going to bring out another caution. And that is an unfortunate deal. We're going to go and take a look quickly to see what happened, because we were not looking at that at the moment. Ernie Williams trying to rock that middle line. Looks like potentially a little bit of contact with 33. Yep, getting down into the corner. Just
tried to throw the block. Unfortunately for him, Josh Kel's already there. There is a ton of damage. They're going to need to roll out the backup car for that one. Henselman has already taken it to the pits as well. So both those guys are going to have to go to their backup rides tonight.
Not an ideal situation for Ernie Williams Jr. or Tyler Henselman. Both of those guys now looking to be out of this race, but we've got 5 guys left on track, and 4 of them are going to be guaranteed into the A main, which means 1 guy is not. Billy Rowley, after some earlier contact, is going to be hoping to have a good run here, a good restart, try to make a couple passes, maybe even hope there's a little more contact. But one of these guys is going to be a little bit more nervous than the rest of them moving on throughout the rest of the night.
Now, I can pretty much guarantee you Rowley's got, at bare minimum, a broken Watts link holding that rear axle in place. It's either bent, it's at least bent. So, looks like the lights are going out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. Eiler going to have the button one more time, as we are going to be 4 to go.
Yes, I believe 4 to go this time by. Remember, caution laps do not count here in this series. So, gives guys a chance to get back up to the field. If there is a crash, we'll jump back out. Green flag back in the air. Eiler with a good jump, but not as good as last time. Piquel right on his rear bumper. Look at the inside.
Piquel trying to do the bottom feeder thing as they go down the back
Into
chute
the wall.
here.
Crashing is Mark Broderick. Oh, that's a tough deal for him. And
wow.
That's going to essentially seal Billy Rowley into the big show. So
yikes.
look here. See what happened to Broderick here. He's ripping that back. All night. Just gets a little bit too much of it. Oh, there's a camera angle.
Yeah. The hell?
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in here. We've got these guys for the pace truck there, and they're probably getting ready for a little 3-lap shootout here.
Yeah, absolutely. As they finally get it rolling, Eiler's still going to be in control of this one. And, I can't get over how much this track has changed since the last time I watched a race here in real life before they did the reconfigure. There never used to be those concrete barriers on the inside. It always used to be powdered donuts.
Oh, okay.
And, I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's different. There never used to be the outside wall going down the back chute. So you could jump over the track and get off the track and end up in the trees. So lights are out on the pace truck as the field works its way down the back chute here. Again, we are going to get a pretty much a natural green-white checker.
Now here's the thing. Tyler Henselman is back out on track. I'm not entirely sure what he can gain from this, but if there is another problem, green flag.
Absolutely. Well, he's only 1 lap down, so he could still make up some positions here should all hell break loose in front of him. Eiler, Piquel, Roberts, and Rowley, your lead lap cars so far.
Little battle for second there. Looks like Roberts trying the inside move down that curved back straightaway. He's going to have the shorter distance. Going to get that move done. Here comes Piquel back on the outside. Not quite enough that time. Roberts completes the pass for second place. Ooh,
white flag in the air.
Contact.
White flag in the air. It's pretty much academic for your points leader, Braden Eiler, as he comes across the stripe, beating and banging across to the checkers. Give second place to Roberts, Piquel, Rowley, and Henselman, rounding out your cars that finished. A couple guys going to have to go to the backup cars. As heat race number 2 starting to grid up now. Vinny Sansoni and Brett Strickler going to roll off in row 1. The ace, Mason Hannigan, is going to be starting up on the second row with Kenny Miller, Kevin Klick, and Zach Szerzinski rolling off in row number 3. So 6 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight for heat race number 2. As they are still gridding up, so
we get ready to
there we go.
Here. And yeah, after all that action there in the first race, it'll be interesting to see if the second one holds up to that, or if these guys kind of see that and maybe try to just get through to the end. But obviously that battle for the transfer spot is going to be what we are looking at throughout most of this event.
Absolutely, and we've got a few timing and scoring anomalies to take care of here. The 80 of Sansoni is actually being scored as 16. The ace of Mason Hannigan is actually the 22. So this is why we don't let tech officials drink before handing out transponders.
Okay, so I didn't do it.
No. This was I'm not even going to venture a guess to figure whose fault this is. As the Mesco lighting on the back chute coming on right now, blinding some of the cameras as we shoot down the back chute here. The D-shaped demon of the Finger Lakes as the field works its way into 3 and 4 for the initial start. As Sansoni has the button, wheels up as we take the green. They're already beating and banging. That was Strickler and Hannigan going hammer and tongs as Hannigan looking to the low side. 3 wide for that final transfer spot. Finally get that sorted out, but
and nobody's giving an inch here.
These guys are just flat getting it right now.
Nice send there by Brett Strickler, but he's going to lose that spot right back. Makes a move back to the outside of Kevin Klick. Or rather, Kevin Klick on the outside of Strickler. Still side by side for the transfer spot. These guys are separated by little to nothing there. Just a little
less than a car length.
Yeah. Oh, to the inside goes Klick. A little bit of contact. Gonna straighten it out. Szerzinski is a little bit further behind this battle. He doesn't look to be a major factor at it right now, but 5 laps into this show. We're only a minute in. We're 5 laps in. We got one in the wall. A crash.
Oh,
Kenny Miller. He's going to get it
yeah,
back
Kenny.
going.
Yeah. Just barely. The battle right now between Sansoni and Hannigan, those guys have been side by side for the last about 4 laps. Speaking of which, we are now 4 to go. That's Sansoni in the black 80, Hannigan in the red 22.
Hannigan with a nice run up off of 2 coming that time around, trying to complete the slide job, but too much of a run on the outside for Sansoni.
Hannigan has to check up a little bit, almost gets into that jersey barrier on the inside. Sansoni into the wall on the outside.
Man, these guys, like I said, these guys are going hard. They're not giving an inch.
Popsicle sticks in the air. Sansoni, Hannigan, Strickler, and Click. As it's pretty much academic right now. Szerzynski is a little bit further back by about a second off the final redraw spot. And Kenny Miller having nothing but problems, about 4 seconds off, about half a lap.
Hannigan down to the inside through 3 and 4. Is he going to try to slide him? He's going to slide up. He closes the door. Mason Hannigan takes the win in heat number 2.
That was an excellent finish. I believe that was Strickler. Strickler coming home in second. Click getting fourth. Szerzynski and Miller rounding out your field.
Yeah, that was an insane battle there.
A hell of a finish, that's for sure. Looks like we are going to have 4 heat races here tonight. Third heat race is up. Liam, who do we have?
Dakota Kuhn is going to be starting in first. On his outside, Kyle Stoltz. Joe Quinn in the row number 2. On his outside is Rusty Kruger. Zach McLaughlin, 5th place, and Kenny Hoffman rounding out the field of 6 cars today in heat race number 3.
So 6 cars, top 4 go into the redraw. Kuhn, Stoltz, Quinn, Kruger, McLaughlin, and Hoffman. So this should be a fun one. As Stoltz, Kuhn, Kruger, those guys, they're usually the heavy hitters. To see them this deep in the field, it's very uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rusty Kruger being fast in practice, put down a quick lap in qualifying, and yeah, he's sitting right there on that transfer spot, so he's going to have to keep his eyes on his mirrors if there really are any.
Well, here we go. They are going to be getting the green next time by. Kuhn going to have the button in the 95. Stoltz going to be starting to the outside up on the cushion, and you notice that cushion is getting dangerously close to that outside retaining wall. Something these guys are going to have to be mindful of as the night wears on, because this track is notorious for going dry slick. Pace truck is in, and Kuhn locks, cocks, pulls the trigger, wheels up. Ugly looking start, but they let it go, and we've already got 2 around. That's Kruger and Hoffman.
Yeah, that's going to bring out a caution here to start off the show, so we don't even get 2 turns completed in heat race number 3 before the first caution. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at that start again.
Looks like Kruger just got run over from behind.
Yeah, we'll slow it down here. Yep, Kruger gets run into from was that Hoffman, and nothing to do once they get stuck together like that. Just kind of an unfortunate deal, bad way to start off the event, but both guys able to get back going. Kenny Hoffman a little bit off the pace right now, getting back up to the field now. So,
doesn't look like a lot of damage on either one of those cars, so they should be all right.
No, it looked like pretty light contact. Neither one of them hit the fence, so hoping they should be good here.
So we're going to lock, cock, and ready to fire again as lights are still on the Chevy Silverado Pace Truck, and we do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications, tattoo it on your dog's forehead, call your mom, text your dad, let them know that you like what you're seeing here on the ESPN Family and Networks, because we do this or we will be doing this, I should say, when we get back into the regular season, because we did have some season finales. But we do this 7 nights a week, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. There have been some triple headers as of late. There's quite a few double headers that go on a regular basis. So a little something for everybody here on ESBN.
It's a great point there. Always good stuff happening. The work never ends over here at ESBN and SRM. And lights are off on the pace truck. Dakota Kuhn getting a chance again to lead him down. I don't think we've completed a lap. So
We
this
did not.
Be the technical restart of the race.
Yeah, but they are going to go single file. It's Kuhn getting a great jump that time. Stoltz going with. As here comes Quinn, and Kruger already making some headway into the transfer spot as he's slugging it out with Zach McLaughlin right now.
And looking right up next to the wall, but high, wide, and handsome's getting the job done, at least for right now. Into the transfer spot goes Rusty Kruger, and looking for more.
Absolutely. Now he's working on Joe Quinn. Quinn jumps up to try to block off Kruger's line.
So he's just going to try something else.
Absolutely. Kruger not afraid to experiment with lines as he goes now back up to the... And,
oh, no, and Kruger's
Quinn's
involved.
over.
Man, I had nothing... Apologies, sir.
That was ugly. Quinn just threw it going into 3, tried to slide job and caught the tail tank of the 01 of Stoltz. Kruger absolutely nowhere to go. Tried to lock it down to stay off of Quinn and put it over on his own lid. And that's going to put both of them into their backup cars.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, was that mirror driving potentially from Quinn, trying to keep the Rusty Kruger behind him, or what? I mean, that was, I don't know, it was quite the send, and I apologize, it was caught mid-sip there, and...
Don't feel bad, I was caught mid-sip as well. But, yeah, it looked like Quinn just tried to send it on Stoltz and unfortunately guessed wrong on where Stoltz was going.
Yeah, it looks like Rusty Kruger and Joe Quinn are both off.
Both of them had to tow. Yeah, both of them had to tow because Quinn ended up in the...
yeah, he got stuck on the tires there.
Well, the Armco that separates the pit in lane from the pit out lane, and Kruger was on his lid at the exit of 4.
Well, pace truck's in. We got 3 guys up here. Green flag's back out. I'm so sorry about that. That's a little embarrassing.
That's all right. Cautions happen a little bit quicker here on the dirt than they do on the pavement track, and we are thankful for that. As looks like
now, whichever one of these guys can get back out onto the track first could transfer. Into the wall is Hoffman.
Hoffman testing the structural integrity of the turn 3-4 outside wall, as now they're back at it as Kuhn continues to show the way. Stoltz tries a slide job through 3 and 4. Doesn't quite have the momentum.
Hoffman's really flirting with that outside. You mentioned how dangerously close that dirt's getting to the wall. Tries it again, gets the wall, gets down a little bit.
That's a bent Watts-Link.
Back up front with 2 laps to go in this heat. He's not giving up there, though, Hoffman on the outside.
Absolutely. And in case you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say Watts-Link, we'll explain to it after the heat races are over. White flag in the air. Kuhn just has 3/8 of a mile to negotiate and keep these 2 guys behind him.
Hoffman on the outside trying to take second place away. A massive run. Is it enough? He hits the wall. It's not quite enough. Coming across the line there. And he's going to crash across the line. So,
Stoltz getting second. Where are we here? Stoltz getting second. Hoffman third. Kruger, Quinn, McLaughlin all having to go to alphabet soup.
Now, when you say alphabet soup, what exactly do you mean by that?
That would be the B main.
Okay.
because in the bigger events they have. I've seen N mains,
Wow.
and they start reverse alphabetical order, so N, M, L, and so on until you get to the A feature. So the heat race number 4, our final heat race out on track right now. Double D, Darren Detweiler in the 3D, going to be starting up on the point this time. He's got Tyler Wilson with him on row 1. Richie Preston, your Red Cat QuickTime Award winner, is going to be starting in row number 2 with Mike Sheridan in the 15. Josh Steinke and Kevin Hanley rounding out the field in row number 3. So 6 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight. 10 laps of scheduled distance. Top 4 go into the redraw.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate how good these cars look now that the lights are on. You know, it's just past sunset. We got a little bit of sun, a little bit of light still in the sky, but the lights are on, and these cars reflecting off of them. It is a beautiful sight.
Absolutely. As we are going to get the green next time by, and Detweiler going to have the button as the field worked its way down the curved back chute here at the Weedsport Speedway. Pace truck picks up a little bit of pace, makes that hard right turn onto pit road. Detweiler has the button, pulls the trigger, and we are underway for heat race number 4. And they're already 3 wide for second. Oi!
Oh, that was a tough bit of contact there for, what was that, Hanley?
It was Hanley and Sheridan. Right now, Josh Steinke in the 80, your final transfer spot. As he eats the wall, that's going to let the 15 of Sheridan get back to him. We now have a battle for transfer.
Yeah, this battle's heating up. Three cars here for one spot, and nobody's giving an inch. Nice outside run there for Joshua Stanke, trying to work the outside of Hanley, but Hanley not giving up. Nice run coming up off of 2, but just a little loss of traction there, unable to get that run. Huge entry, and a sideways move for Michael Sheridan is probably going to put Joshua Stanke in a prime spot to try to transfer here. He gets another nice run there on the outside. Gets the job done.
Sheridan's flirting with disaster going into 1. He had to check up just a little bit. That's going to let Kevin Hanley get to him in the 110. As right now Steinke throwing the slider line, making sure that Sheridan can't use it. As just like that, we are 4 to go. Detweiler running away with this one, almost a full second and a half to the good. Over second place, your QuickTime Award winner, Richie Preston. Tyler Wilson sitting in third as him and Steinke. Wilson and Steinke are throwing haymakers at each other right now.
Now all of
And
a
it looks
sudden,
like Wilson's starting to struggle.
Yeah, with 3 laps to go, coming to 2 laps to go, Tyler Wilson's all of a sudden struggling to try to remain in the transfer spot as Kevin Hanley is trying to work that middle to outside lane. He's been battling Michael Sheridan for quite a few laps now, but we come to the white flag. I don't know, is anybody going to have enough to try to get up there and take 4th place away from Tyler Wilson?
Well, we are about to find out as they've got 3/8 of a mile to get it done. It's academic for Detweiler right now as he's already in.
Big send.
Here we go. And nope, not going to happen. Detweiler, Preston, Steinke, Wilson to the redraw. Hanley, Sheridan into alphabet soup. So, looks like they are going to do a consi.
All right.
So Hanselman and Szerzinski going to roll off in row 1. Quinn and Hanley making up row 2. Broderick and Miller row 3. Zach McLaughlin and Mike Sheridan in row 4. Ernie Williams Jr. rounding out the field of 9. And let me just double check this here. Really? One guy is going home.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker. One guy from this race?
They're taking 8 into the feature. But to get back to what I was talking about with the bent Watts link, you can't have, with a solid rear axle, like in a cup car like we drive on Saturday nights in the league that you run. Um, you have a Panhard bar which attaches the left side of the chassis to the axle and kind of keeps the axle centered. They don't have enough room in a sprint car chassis to have something like that. So they have something that kind of looks like a weird looking W or Z almost, and it just keeps the axle centered, and it's real easy to bend it because it's just an aluminum piece, and it's not really meant to take a shot, and it's very easy to get it wrong. So they call it a Watts link because it's Watt links your rear axle to the chassis, or some people call it a Z link, or up in Canada they call it a Z link.
Okay.
So 12 laps of scheduled distance here. As Joe Quinn going to have the button. We are going to be going green next time by. Quinn and Szerzynski on that front row.
I appreciate everybody sticking with me while I'm doing my best to provide the best graphics for you here. We got Pace Trucks going to roll on in, and it's going to be a good show.
And I'm only counting 8 cars on the track. So this is going to set the rest of the field after the redraw.
Yeah, it looks like Zach McLaughlin did not make it into the race. So yeah, this is all for starting position. Everybody's going to make it, and look at how everybody gathered together there.
3 and 4 wide. Good grief. They're still 3 wide. These guys are just flat getting it. And I shouldn't really be surprised because week in and week out, these guys do this. 3 and 4 wide all night long. Just hard-nosed, no quarter asked for, no quarter given. And it's impressive every time these guys hit the track. As we've got a battle for the lead starting to heat up now.
Yeah, Alex Szerzynski with a huge move to the outside there. It looks like he's almost going to be able to clear Joe Quinn there, but maybe this time around he gets a nice run in into second. Kenny Miller's going to take advantage of the slow line that Joe Quinn had taken there on the inside. Now he's looking to make a pass for the lead down on the inside.
Absolutely. Miller trying that slider line, not able to make it happen quite yet. As here comes Hanley to the inside of Quinn to try to wrestle third away from him.
These guys are about half a straightaway separated. We got a crash. Car up into the wall. It looked to me like Joe Quinn just got tagged there by Ernie Williams Jr. Quinn was able to keep on going. No caution or anything, as we've got the battle for the lead still heating up here.
Szerzynski and Miller just slugging it out right now. And you're right, we do have a little bit of a gap between 4th place Mike Sheridan and 5th place Mark Broderick. About 4 car lengths separate the two of them.
As back to the inside is looking Kenny Miller. Tried it that last time around, didn't quite work, but he doesn't stray very far off the back here. To the inside, down the back straightaway with a huge bit of momentum going into 3. He's going to try the slider. He made it work there, but Szerzynski had to check up. Now he's going to be under fire from Kevin Hanley.
Szerzynski definitely had to check up and got into the wall on the front chute. Looks like no damage as he continues pointed in the right direction here. Hanley now all over the tail tank of the 22 as we are going to be 1 to go next time across the stripe. Miller with a commanding lead right now. White flag in the air. One more time around. Miller, Szerzynski, Hanley, Sheridan, Williams, Quinn, Broderick, and Hanselman all going to the A main. So we are just waiting for that redraw to happen. As they are doing that right now. So Liam,
yes, sir.
your first dirt race with the DOB guys. What do you think so far?
This racing has been absolutely insane, and we've seen like I don't know. I mean, we've seen it all. That first heat race had a bit of a struggle to get started. You know, we had a couple of cautions, and we've had incidents throughout the races, but the racing has just been insane. Guys are making moves that I couldn't even dream of making, not only making them stick, but they're making them stick with about 3 inches between them and the other car they're working with. So it's insane stuff. This has been a blast to be a part of, and I'm just thankful to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've loved having these guys, for the past couple of seasons. This is their 15th season with the 410 sprints. And, it shows. It really does show the fact that a lot of these guys have been racing together, for 15 seasons. They've got an idea of what the other guys are going to do, where they're going to go, what type of moves they can expect out of each other. I mean, you're always going to see some new faces coming in and some part-timers, but it's fun to watch some of the most skilled sprint drivers in the iRacing servers do this battle week in and week out. And there are a couple members of the proverbial Black Bumper Brigade. And for those of you in the iRacing server, you know what I'm talking about. Those are the guys that actually have their pro licenses. There's a couple of them in the field tonight. We'll let you guess who they are.
As another hot lap session getting ready to get started here. Cars
actually, this is the dash.
This is the dash.
Yes, it is. So we got Sansoni, Stoltz, Roberts, Detweiler, Kuhn, Eiler, Preston, and Hannigan all coming out for the dash right now. This is going to determine who is starting where in the A feature. This was where the redraw came into play. Again, you got your top two finishers. And here we go. Preston immediately jumps on the loud pedal as that is Hannigan on the high side in the red car right behind him.
Turn 3 and 4.
And it was Braden Eiler, your points leader.
Yeah, he's already gone back to the
and Vinny Sansoni.
No caution there. Richie Preston out front. He's fast in practice. Mason Hannigan. He's also putting down a quick time here.
Absolutely. It's Preston and Hannigan just throwing his haymakers at each other right now. Detweiler trying to figure out what he's got to do to maintain with these guys. He had it all his own way in the heat race, so no real challenges. As it looks like the second groove is starting to come back in, and I don't think they farmed the track. They did not.
Is this not a fresh track?
This is not a fresh track.
Looks a lot fresher than it was.
I was thinking the same thing, but it's supposed to be carryover. Well, that is going to do it for the dash.
Yeah, we got a couple more coming out now.
Now it's the warm-up. This is the last chance these guys are going to get to see the track before the A feature. Make those final last-minute adjustments to figure out what they've got to do. And you're absolutely right. It does look like they did farm the track, but according to the race info, it was supposed to be carryover. Interesting. Well then. So 24 cars getting ready to roll off here tonight for the A feature as we've got some problems on the back chute. While we are waiting for these guys to finish this little hot lap session that they are doing, just to, again, make sure that, they know what to expect in the A feature. Let's take a look at 11th on down for the starting order, because we are going to have to wait for them to actually grid up and start pacing before we're going to be able to know exactly what the top 10 is going to look like. So starting inside row number 6 is going to be Kenny Hoffman. He's going to be joined with the 80 of Josh Steinke. Billy Rowley and Kevin Click rolling off in row number 7. Row 8 gives us Rusty Kruger and Tyler Wilson. Kenny Miller and Alex Rzinski going to start in row number 9, with row 10 going to Kevin Hanley and Mike Sheridan. Ernie Williams Jr. and Joe Quinn rolling off in row number 11. And starting shotgun on the field in row 12, Mark Broderick and Tyler Henselman. And again, that is 11th through 24th. We are going to wait until they actually start pacing so that they can get everybody lined out to where they need to be after the redraw. As hot lap session should be getting ready to wind on down here. As that was Kevin Hanley going for a wild one down the back chute here at Weedsport. So, good times. Let us know who you're pulling for tonight if you are watching in the live chat. There's a lot of fans watching right now. But again, it's only going to be 2 weeks left after tonight. As next week, the 410s are going to be at Cedar Point. Cedar Point? That's not right. Cedar Lake. Cedar Point's Lake. A roller coaster amusement park. Sorry about that. Cedar Lake next week for the 410 sprints, and Bristol for the big block modifieds next week. Tonight, the big blocks, though, are going to be at Lanier. As here we go. They are starting to grid up, and we are going to have to wait for them to start rolling before we're going to know who's going to be starting exactly where in this A feature due to the redraw.
Yeah, so this is probably not the most accurate thing on the screen right now. And once
Far
again,
from
just
it.
want to thank everybody for the patience as I try to get these graphics perfect and figured out. But
we'll get there.
So this is it, man. This is the feature. We've got, looks to me like
24 cars.
Yeah, 24 cars here. Gotta wait for everyone to grid here before
looks like we've got everyone finally. So pace truck should be starting to roll here momentarily. There it goes, and here we go. As you're just waiting for everybody to get sorted out here. So it looks like Mason Hannigan is going to be one of the front row starters. And he's going to be joined on that front row with the 25 of Richie Preston. Looks like Darren Detweiler and Chris Roberts rolling off in row number 2. Dakota Kuhn and Kyle Stoltz in row 3. Row 4 is Vinny Sansoni and Braden Eiler. And Josh Pickell and Brett Strickler in row number 5. So 35 laps of scheduled distance here tonight at Weedsport. Again, cautions do not count. No fast repairs. Good luck. As the field working its way down the back straightaway, Preston, Hannigan, Roberts, Detweiler, Stoltz, Kuhn, Eiler, Sansone, Pickell, and Strickler ready to do battle. The only thing that's left to do is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, make sure the steering wheel's on nice and tight, because race fans, it's showtime!
Oh man, I've heard so many things about that legendary call, but to be up in the booth for it, that's something wonderful here. As we got all sorts of action in the middle of the pack, 3 and 4 wide action everywhere. Everyone trying to get through this mountain of traffic in front of them. As a checkup in the back, we've got a spin. It looks like Ernie Williams has gone around. Tyler Wilson, a couple of other guys here. Tyler Henselman seems to be checked up back there.
Rusty Kruger's in there too.
Yeah, let's go back, take a look to see what has happened here. There's all sorts of action beating and banging coming up off of turn number 3, turn number 4. Just a little bit of contact getting off the track right away, or maybe just a lack of my computer understanding where things are. But
well, Wilson immediately towed. Hannigan immediately brings it to the pits. Looks like Broderick towing, Wilson towing.
Yeah, an unfortunate deal for these guys to start this race. First lap out of 35 is tough.
Absolutely. And Broderick has decided to immediately put it on the hauler. And they're saying that one was on Hanselman.
Yeah, we only got the one look at it there. Obviously, after the live look, it just looked like somebody throughout that stack up just got a little bit too far into the corner and, yeah, made contact with, I believe to be Wilson, and got him turned around. And well, I think Wilson was the guy who got stuck on his side behind somebody else. But
well, here we go for the restart as the field works its way into turn number 3. Preston wastes no time, pulls the trigger, and gets a good jump over 3D Darren Detweiler. Detweiler now has to deal with Chris Roberts all over his tail tank, as I didn't quite see who that was, almost getting into the wall coming off a 2.
As you see Chris Roberts trying the inside of Double D there, Darren Detweiler. A battle actually for 5th place working its way now as a big send from Brett Strickler. Has to check up, get off the gas. Now he's actually going to be at risk of losing spots to Dakota Kuhn and Kyle Stoltz. A slow car on the inside. Are these guys all going to get around him? That was Joshua Piquel. Had a problem in turns 1 and 2. A slow car. And now the caution is out once again. Well, you told me everything happens real quick here, and we'll have to see what that caution was for. Oh, there was a crash behind these guys.
Looks like Szerzynski and Rowley getting into it.
And yeah, Rowley just got up on the wall, and Szerzynski had nowhere to go, and unfortunately gets turned upside down. Barrel rolls a time or two. Let's look at this before we jump back to the live cam. Bouncing off the wall already is Szerzynski, and yeah, just clips him with that right rear. Wheel-to-wheel contact is not good in these cars.
Absolutely not. And just like that, we've got a new leader. We missed it while we were watching those battles a little bit deeper in the pack. Is 3D Darren Detweiler able to wrestle the lead away from Richie Preston. Chris Roberts currently sitting in 3rd. Josh Piquel in 4th. Vinny Sansone 5th. Brett Strickler, Dakota Kuhn, and Kyle Stoltz rounding out your top 10. Lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing, as it starts to pick up speed down the back chute here at this beautifully prepared 3/8 mile Weedsport Speedway in lovely Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Field works its way into the 3-4 complex. Here we go. Coming off a 4. Detweiler holds him down, pulls the trigger, wheels up, restart for the 3D.
And Richie Preston trying to waste no time already, shooting to the outside. We've got 3 wide in the back, just a little bit further back. Darren Detweiler holding on to the lead up here. So we got a crash again. These guys seem to have kept it straight. I don't think we've got a caution, but a couple of cars got up into the wall. We jump back to your lead battle, maybe the battle for second here. Chris Roberts now defending from Richie Preston. He just made that pass and is trying to hold on, but Preston holds tight on the outside as these guys chase down our leader, 3D.
It's the only gripe I have about this track in the iRacing servers, because you see where Detweiler and Roberts are running. In the real world, that section of track usually takes on rubber and it tightens up. Instead, in iRacing, it just gets slicker and slicker and slicker and slicker. That's the only, and I wouldn't even call it a complaint. It's just the only thing that I would really like to see iRacing start to work on is having these tracks take on rubber and change the handling characteristic of the track. Because there's most tracks around the country.
Caution's
As we are back under caution, looks like Ernie Williams Jr.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look at that.
Oi!
Tyler Wilson, we also... Oh, that was a big one.
Gets into the slick stuff, jumps the cushion, bangs the wall, and over she goes.
Oh, wrong. I didn't get the right replay there. There it is.
But, most tracks around the country, they'll only go dry slick for so long before they start to eat the tire and put the rubber from the tire down into the racing surface. Mm-hmm. And then it's a whole new ball game at that point. Where you were trying to tighten the car up, now you've got to loosen the car up because the track has so much bite in it. And that's one of the things I'm hoping they're working on. I really do.
Yeah, and to kind of push your point a little bit more, it might not be the best example, but I was at the trucks race in Knoxville this year, and when the race started out, the heat started out, the guys could run pretty much anywhere, but as that bottom side rubbered in, obviously the trucks work a little bit different. You don't have all the extra horsepower and not a lot of weight to them, so when it rubbered in, it ended up becoming just a bottom feeder. And
right.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see that kind of take into effect. I've been involved in some dirt races where you do just follow the groove up and up and up all race, but that doesn't seem to be the case this time. These guys are able to hold that bottom line pretty professionally, if I do say.
Absolutely. As the lights are out on the pace truck, Detweiler has the buttons to come out of 3, pulls the trigger in the middle of 3 and 4, and we are back underway. Preston staying right with him, though, working that cushion. As they're 3 wide, as here comes Josh Piquel in the 33.
High, wide, and handsome is Richie Preston once again. He's been trying to work that lane all night. As you see how slick it's getting towards the middle of the track. There's a lot of dark in the middle of the track there that can't imagine it feels super good under these tires. It looks like the caution has come out once again.
Kevin Click
has had an issue. Oh, yep, there it is. Just back it up a little bit more there. Some contact going down into 1. Between it looks like... Oh. There's nowhere to go for a bunch of these guys.
Yeah. Click was involved, but it wasn't his fault. That was the 38, the 01, and the 25.
Yeah, we'll slow it down here, try to get a better angle here. The 38 comes down on the 01 through the middle of the corner here. That's going to set off this initial contact here. Spin a couple of these guys sideways. The 38 goes around. 0-1 of Kyle Stoltz with nowhere to go, nothing to do there but to just keep turning them around. You see the 25, Kevin Click, Michael Sheridan also. Not really much to do there.
Them's the breaks. As, you have the tight confines of a 3/8 mile bull ring. It's basically jet fighters in a gymnasium.
Oh, yeah.
As the lights go out on the pace truck, Detweiler going to have the button one more time as we are going to get the restart on a lap 14 of 35. Detweiler, Preston, Roberts, Piquel, Sansone, your top 5 as we get ready to go back to green.
Pace truck rolls in. On the button once again is Detweiler. Preston trying to get with, or stay with him rather, on the restart. Back to that top side, trying to get a good run up off of turn number 2. So you see Vinny Sansoni trying to get up into the top 5 there, or hold that top 5 spot rather.
Here comes Preston on the high side, trying to make the momentum line work. Almost bangs the wall in the middle of 1 and 2 as he pulls alongside. Does bang the wall down the back chute.
He had that momentum working just perfectly, and he's almost
New leader.
clear him going down into turn number 1. Should have him this time coming up off of turn number 2. Getting that extra momentum on the outside and utilizing the curved back straightaway. Taking the lead in dominant fashion.
You got to wonder how much longer Detweiler is going to try to run that low line. There's your answer. He immediately jumps up to the high side to try to hold pace with Preston. As right now, Roberts has, if he had a rearview mirror, it would be filled with a pack of angry wolves behind him. It's 3 wide for 4th.
Man, that was a nice move there.
Great.
Those guys were so close coming down the front stretch. I thought they were going to get into each other. As you see one up into the wall, that's Vinny Sansoni. Just a little bit of contact there between the 33 and the 5.
Eiler had wheels up coming off of 4, almost gets into Piquel. Collects it back up and now sets sail to try to reel these guys in front of him. But how about Kenny Miller in the 23? Up 13 spots from where he started this piece, currently sitting just outside of the podium.
Yeah, that's definitely our biggest mover of the day so far. If you can gain that 1 spot, like you said, being up in the podium, gaining 13 spots in a dirt race is no easy task, and especially when you're against guys of this caliber, you got to feel good about that type of performance, as it looks like he's going to have a run to the outside to try to take 3rd place away from Chris Roberts.
Absolutely. Going to try to cross Roberts over. Roberts, though, staying on the low side. They bang on the back chute.
That was close racing there. They touched just a little bit, but these guys are able to keep it going as you see 3 wide once again behind him for just a moment. This battle between Piquel, Sansoni, and Eiler has not skipped a beat since we've taken the time to look at this lead battle, as Richie Preston has kind of pulled away. I mean, he's got about a 1.5 seconds over 3D in 2nd, Chris Roberts in 3rd, as Kenny Miller trying once again to make that outside work against Roberts. Looking like he's going to have the momentum this time. Clears him down the front straightaway. And he's going to try the same move here as we got a crash. Sansoni. And it looked like Piquel was involved. So that's another caution here. 26 laps in. We're going to have 10 to go at the restart. Let's go ahead and take a look quickly here. These guys have been, they've been all over each other for the last 15 laps. 3 wide into the corner, a little bit of contact between Sansoni and
Piquel, and Piquel came out on the losing end of that exchange. 3
wide
going into 1 is never a good idea.
No, that's a tough one. I mean, we saw a couple of guys make it work barely just a couple of laps ago, but that is a good example of what can go wrong if just one mistake is made in those tight situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's a rough one. You can't really, point a finger at anybody at that point. Although race control is pointing the finger at Piquel.
He was the middle car?
He was the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah. From that angle, it did kind of look like when he swung out to get his entry in, that might have been where the contact came in. But I'm not race control. I'm lucky I'm not the one who has to make those calls. So.
You're not wrong.
Looks like we got the pace cars, lights off once again. The Chevy Silverado official pace truck of iRacing. Gonna pull off this time. Give us 10 laps to go in the feature race for the DOB 410 Sprints at Weedsport.
Preston immediately starts to roll back into the trigger, gets pointed straight, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. Detweiler a little bit sideways on the restart. Here comes the 23 of Miller on the high side.
Miller not giving anything up. He's up 15 spots if he can hold this 2nd place. He's got a good run up on the outside. He's going to get the job done. Now, can he get up there and take this win away from Richie Preston, who's been the strongest car? These guys still aren't done battling for 2nd.
Absolutely not, as they are just hammering tongs right now.
I
As
believe
Preston,
that'll seal
yep.
the deal for second place there. And maybe just as soon as I
Maybe
say
not.
that. It's looking to be clear for second place now. Kenny Miller gets to focus on the guy in front of him, Richie Preston, and he's only got a few laps left to get the job done. We've got 7 to go this time, coming to 6 short laps to go. That's about a minute and a half of racing, and this gap is closing up between Miller and Preston.
And you got to wonder who's going to make the mistake first, because that's what this is going to come down to. As Preston bangs the wall in the middle of the back chute.
Yeah, just a little bit there. It didn't seem to slow him down too much, and I don't think lap traffic's going to end up playing a factor in this. So it is going to come down to a mistake. Who slips out of their line first? Could it be Richie Preston? Could Kenny Miller gain 16 spots to win the race tonight? He goes to the bottom. He's going to slide up. A little bit of contact. He's going to get the pass done, but contact between Miller and Preston to take the lead. I don't think Preston's going to like that.
Absolutely not, as we are 4 to go, as make that 3 to go, as we've got a battle for third, hot and heavy right now, as your points leader, Braden Eiler, wrestles it away from both Detweiler and Roberts.
High, wide, and handsome here at Weedsport. Like you said, that bottom line was kind of questionable, but now we're seeing the top line be dominant.
Popsicle sticks in the air. Miller showing the way. Preston trying to hang on for second. Here comes Eiler to the inside, using the ultra low line. Whatever is left, white flag in the air one more time around. Miller has control. Eiler trying to wrestle second away from Preston. Coming off at turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Kenny Miller coming home with the victory. Points leader Braden Eiler hanging on to second. Richie Preston for third.
What a fantastic finish there.
Oh, absolutely. Darren Detweiler hanging on for fourth. Chris Roberts in fifth. Kevin Hanley up 13 spots, coming home in sixth. Vinny Sansoni in seventh. Rusty Kruger in eighth. Kenny Hoffman in ninth. Joe Quinn rounding out your top 10. Ian?
Dakota Kuhn sitting in 11th place. Kyle Stoltz in 12th. Joshua Patel in 13th. Joshua Stanky in 14th. Brett Strickler rounding out our top 15. Tyler Wilson, then Kevin Click, Michael Sheridan, Ernie Williams Jr., and Alec Szerzinski rounding out our top 20 and starting the guys who had very bad days.
Billy Rowley coming to 21st. Mason Hannigan tonight, he'd just as soon forget, coming home in 22nd. Tyler Hanselman, same for him in 23rd. And Mark Broderick in 24th. As we are just waiting for our race winner to get into the Discord server. But there he is. We are going to reach out now to the man of the hour. Up 16 spots, coming home with the checkered flags here at the Finger Lakes Classic in Weedsport. Congratulations, Kenny Miller.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was a good win.
Absolutely. It was a hard-fought win, too. I mean, we saw you had to change your lineup numerous times. How slick did that low lane get?
Yeah, it was super slick out there. And even that top lane that I was kind of running 1 and 2 started to go away at the end. Yeah, I mean, I caught Richie on that last restart and tried to at least just like float the middle on him. I don't know if I just hit it kind of good or we came together or I came up on him. I'm not really sure. I really just wanted to try it down there to see what I had for him for the last couple laps. Yeah, if that was my fault, I apologize to him. But yeah, I was certainly rolling pretty good. And I was glad I didn't really get caught up in a lot of messes, especially at Weedsport. It's kind of easy to get caught up in some stuff.
Absolutely. And, you know, Kenny, you didn't really have much luck in the heat race. You kind of were mired back. What was going through your mind as you were prepping for the A feature?
Yeah, and I really didn't expect to qual as good as I did. I haven't ran Weedsport in this new build and really any bull rings for that matter. So it was definitely surprising to go second quick, and then I kind of screwed myself for the heat race. But yeah, I think I nailed my slick setup pretty decent in the B main and ran that same exact setup for the feature.
All right, Kenny. Are you going to be joining us in Lanier for the big blocks next?
I got another 410 lead to run, but
Okay. Then we
certainly,
will be looking forward to seeing you next week at Cedar Lake. Your thoughts going into that event next week?
it's definitely another small track. That's definitely up on the top, dominant. So
Jet
we'll,
fighters in a gymnasium.
yeah. So we'll try to build something and see if we can't run next week.
All right, Kenny Miller, who do you need to thank before we let you go tonight?
I got to thank everybody at Phantom Motorsports, Velocity Race Designs, Blake Sportswear, Power Outdoors, and Highside Media for helping us out.
All right, Kenny Miller, congratulations on winning here at Weedsport. We'll see you next week at Cedar Lake.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And Liam, just so you know, the new session is up as we are now bringing Braden Eiler in, and I believe you've got him with you now, Liam.
Yeah, Braden, you had yourself a crazy day so far. I mean, a lot of ups and downs throughout of the course of the race, but you come home with a second. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited from this racing that I can't speak. But you come home with a second place. You pad your points lead a little bit more. How do you feel?
Yeah, Weedsport's a tight racetrack, and you don't want to get slick like that. It's always calls for tight racing, and I'd agree that I was starting to be sort of a little bit too aggressive towards the end of that, forcing few three wide situations. But yeah, the car was pretty good there once I got clear of some of the chaos there. I think I was almost to the tail there at one point in the beginning, and then slowly worked my way back up. I felt like as long as I didn't make any mistakes and the car was all right as far as damage wise went, that I could probably put it about anywhere, and it was pretty quick.
Now you saw that contact in front of you there while they raced for the lead. Did you have any hope of getting up there and winning, or was there just kind of a sit back and take the good points day?
Uh, I knew I was catching them. Uh, I knew the car was pretty quick, but with how slick that track was, it's really hard to make up that much ground on them, even when they break their momentum like that. So it was, you know, it'd be kind of difficult for me to get there. I got to Kenny out of 4 on the white flag, but I think I would have needed another 5 or so laps to be able to do anything with him.
Right. Well, rock on, man! Congratulations on your second place finish here tonight at Weedsport. Is who do you got to thank before we let you go?
Yes, everybody elbows up SimSport, Wicked Energy Gum or Wicked Brands, Matthew Henniger, he's a great guy. Wicked Cushion, go get your dirt racing apparel over there. Flow Racing, Just Logistics, BS Airlines, Rivco Indy, Ryan Hergott. And I just appreciate Chris for putting on the league, and also a good run to Richie and Kenny. And I appreciate you guys for putting the broadcast on.
All right, so that was our second place finisher, Braden Eiler, your points leader. And Braden, we will see you next week at Cedar Lake.
Thank you. We'll see it.
And joining us now, all things considered, can't be too disappointed after setting the Red Cat QuickTime Award in qualifying, coming home with a podium finish after taking a couple weeks off. Richie Preston, your thoughts coming out of Weedsport tonight?
We should have won our first DOB race, to be honest with you, but it happens, and we'll move on to next week.
Well, you definitely had one of the cars to beat all night long. It just looks like you caught the wall at the most inopportune time.
Yeah, I mean, we caught the wall, but I mean, I wasn't expecting Kenny to run the bottom and come up the track like he did, but I don't know. He was following me. I heard him back there. I heard he was following me, and then I looked over and he was right next to me, and we got contact. So I don't know. It happens. Like I said, we'll regroup and come back next week.
Well, your thoughts going into Cedar Lake next week is it's an even tighter track than Weedsport.
Yeah, Cedar Lake's been good to me though. I like Cedar Lake. It's a good track since they added it to the game. I think it'll be up around the top mostly, but middle to bottom will come in as well. So, like I said, we'll move on and look forward to that one.
Now, will you be joining us for the big block race here in a few moments?
I don't think I'll make it tonight. I'm not sure that I might. We'll see.
All right, Richie, again, congratulations on setting the Red Cat Quick Time Award. Looking forward to seeing what you can do with a jet fighter in a gymnasium next week at Cedar Lake.
Yep, thanks. Can't thank you guys for the broadcast and Chris and DOB and everything they do, and then everybody elbows up for helping me out.
All right, Richie Preston, congratulations on the podium tonight. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
So, Liam, that is going to do it for the interview portion of this show, as the hot lap session is underway for the 410s. So we are just waiting for Scotty to beam us over there.
Yeah, I've made the quick trip to Lanier Motor Speedway. Made a little bit of an earlier exit than you did there, but we are here at Lanier watching these big block dirt modifieds go around the track, get some hot laps in. And you talk about jet fighters in a gymnasium, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. Bigger cars than we saw last time around with the 410s. Still a lot of power under these motors, but it's going to be less and more forgiving, you know, in a sense. You're going to be able to beat and bang a little bit more without just completely launching yourself off of somebody. But at the same time, you're going to have to be a lot more precise with what you're doing with the car, because they don't maneuver around quite as well as those giant winged sprint cars. So we look forward to this next race here. It's looking exciting.
Well, the body basically is the wing in these things. And the messed up part, you remove the body panels off this, and it looks like an elongated sprint car chassis. The driver still sits in line with the motor, but because they've got that little extra length to them, these guys actually do have a 2-speed transmission in them.
Oh, okay.
So it's not direct drive and push start like the sprint cars are. There is a 2-speed Burt box. You know, it's basically get it rolling out of the pits and then throw it into direct drive. But 2-speed transmission, almost double the weight of a sprint car. And unlike the sprint cars, these are 468 cubic inches carbureted on racing gas, as opposed to 410 aluminum small blocks on methanol. So roughly the same horsepower output, it's just how they get there is a little bit different.
Okay. We learn something new every day. That's what we hope to do here in all sorts of racing, I guess, you know, here at ESPN with SRM, and you know, just try to learn more about good racing all around. Like Tony had said, this is one of my first dirt races to call. I've run some dirt races, officials, I've run some with my friends, but it's never really been my forte. So it's really cool to be able to come out here and learn about you know, what makes these cars different than what I'm used to, and also just see a damn good show, because these guys are, I mean, we saw in the first event at Weedsport, these guys are putting it all out there, and they're able to race insanely close, insanely on the edge, and yeah, I'm thoroughly pleased with just being here. So,
well, the one thing you're going to notice, another thing that's different than we saw in the sprint cars, is you're going to see that left front wheel hiking up a lot more in these than we ever did in the sprint cars, because these guys are trying to get that right rear planted to drive off the corner. You know, very similar to you know, the way that the dirt late models go around the track freewheeling it. You know, you're really going to see that left front hiking up as the rear suspension really does its work, because you're talking about a 3-link back there as opposed to you know, like a 4-link in a pavement car or a truck arm. So weight transfer is key on the dirt side of things. It looks like a relatively short field here tonight for the 3/8 mile Lanier down here in Georgia. Georgia? Yes, Brazelton, Georgia. So
yeah,
I dare say,
hot laps.
I dare say we're going to see. Well, we're probably going to see 2 heat races and then go straight into the A feature for the short field here. It would greatly surprise me if we saw anything more than that. But yeah, this Georgia clay really usually leads to some pretty good racing action.
And Lanier in itself, the straightaways are so short, you're never not turning. So you don't quite straighten yourself out. You just kind of get off the corner and then point yourself in. As you see there, the 0-1 did there for just a moment, and now I'm blanking out as it looks like the session has advanced. We are qualifying. We're going to see some guys get onto the track, and Brett Strickler going to be our first one to load up here and get out onto the racetrack. Kevin Hanley also on the track. Zachary Bardsley, Scott Fenstermaker, Dean Reynolds also on the track. So we'll keep an eye on everybody's qualifying laps here and let you know who is running quick. First guy looking to complete a lap is Kevin Hanley down the back straightaway right now. Trying to dig everything he can there on the bottom, get the grip that's there while it is there. Right now, Brett
Strickler immediately to the top. Bardsley, good grief.
14:25 and a tie for second. Zachary Bardsley and Kevin Hanley both with a 14:27. 14:29 for Brett Strickler. So 4 100ths. Now Greg Keppel to the top of the board with a 14:18. Bardsley with a 14:23. Detweiler also with a 14:23. So these guys up at the front here are insanely close on their setups. A 14:3 for Joshua Piquel. That's potentially got into the wall. It doesn't look like that lap's going to count. So
correct. We're waiting for the last car to post their second lap. It looks like it's going to be the 93 of Chris Roberts. And not going to improve on his second lap for the 93. So it looks like that's going to do it for the qualifying session.
Let's just remark for a moment about the fact that our top 6 qualifiers, our top 7 qualifiers are within 12 100ths of each other.
Yeah, that's insane.
And the whole field is within 3/10 of each other. So we're gonna load up, get ready for these heat races. More than likely, just the 2 of them with the short field. Yep.
Correct.
6 cars in the first one and 5 in the second.
So first, go ahead.
Safe to say everybody makes it here, right?
Yes. First heat race going to be Josh Piquel and Kevin Hanley rolling off in row 1. Double D, Darren Detweiler rolling off with Greg Keppel in row number 2. Kyle Stoltz and Chris Roberts rounding out the field in row number 3. 6 cars, 10 laps. Top 4 go into the redraw. Looks like we've got all 6 for heat race number 1. Just waiting for the pace truck to put it into gear. Here we go. As the field's starting to roll it behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Going to get 2 pace laps and then turn them loose for 10 laps of heat race action. Yeah, this is one of the weirdest pit roads that you're going to see in the iRacing server.
Oh, that's a fact.
Because you enter pit road in turn 4, but you have to drive all the way around the track so you get to your pit box. And that takes it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, it does. You almost have to run. You run about 80% of the lap to make it through pit lane, but the pace truck is off. Green flag is in the air, and Joshua Piquel with a nice start, trying to hold that bottom lane side by side for 3rd place and 3 wide back there now. Greg Keppel, our fastest qualifier of the night so far, is trying to work that outside lane, try to get back up through the field. Side by side for that last transfer spot into the redrop position as Darren Detweiler and Chris Roberts battle it out down the back straightaway for that spot. But coming to lap 3 out of 10, and they are 4 wide almost coming up off of 4. You see the outside get the momentum there for Greg Keppel in the 3rd place now, rocking that 38, trying to take second, gets right up out of the rear bumper of Kevin Hanley, moves to the outside, is not able to get enough done, but that is what you were talking about, Tony. That right there, you saw the left front lift off the ground of that 38. You see it right there. That's exactly what you mentioned earlier. These guys are wheeling in. These cars are set up in such a way that, hey, you might not even need that left front to be totally down there.
Absolutely. You see that a lot in midget racing, especially when you go to the Chili Bowl. You'll see guys put bicycle tires on the left front because you don't need that tire. But here we go, halfway point in the books. Piquel, Keppel, Hanley, Detweiler in redraw. Robertson, Stoltz going just outside looking in. As Keppel with a run on Piquel. Piquel, though, throws the block. Not quite running the cushion, running that second groove. As here comes Keppel to the inside, flirting with disaster down there and not making it happen is a little slick stuff. Here comes Hanley to his inside, coming off a 2 drag race down the back straightaway. Popsicle sticks going to be in the air this time by Piquel, shows the way.
Yeah, Piquel with a clear lead right now. I say that, but it shortens up by a car length or 2. About 2/10, 3 car lengths between these guys. The battle right now is Kevin Hanley trying to take second place away from Greg Keppel. 1 lap to go. White flag in the air. Can anybody change this running order right now? Everybody running solidly, single file in the middle lane. We've got 1 chance at a last-ditch send for second place, but the transfer spots will stay the same. Second place will stay the same as well. Joshua Piquel wins heat race number 1. Joshua Piquel, then Greg Keppel, Kevin Hanley, Darren Detweiler, Chris Roberts, and Kyle Stoltz to round out our first heat race. That was insane stuff.
Absolutely. As heat race number 2 already gridding up. Scott Fenstermaker going to roll off from inside row 1. He's going to be joined up on the front row with Brett Strickler. Dean Reynolds and Zach Beardsley making up row number 2. Craig Laudermeth and Braden Eiler starting shotgun on the field. 6 cars rolling off here tonight. So here we go, was heat race number 2 already rolling.
Yeah, these guys were ready to get up in here and ready to get onto the track. They saw the great racing that we had beforehand, and these guys want to put on a show for everybody tuning in. I want to thank everybody who is tuning in right now on the ESPN YouTube channel. Go ahead and drop who you're expecting, who you want to win this race, who's your favorite driver in the DOB series. Big block modifieds getting ready to run here in heat race number 2. As the lights are off on the pace truck, we're going to watch him speed up just a bit and take that hard left.
Absolutely. Is one thing I didn't mention during heat race number 1, Josh Piquel with a 71-point lead in the point standings. Green flag is out. Fenstermaker pulls the trigger, gets a great jump. Strickler, though, under heavy pressure. He's got a pack of angry wolves breathing down his neck.
Yeah, side by side for 3rd and 5th. This transfer spot into the redrop positions are, it is not going to come easy this time around. As you see, Brett Strickler trying to be like Kyle, the high side tickler here, working a little bit higher than anybody else has so far tonight. We've seen a lot of guys working kind of the outside of that slick stuff, just where the dirt, the clay starts, but not a lot of guys getting into the loose stuff, trying out that cushion. Brett Strickler trying to make it work. Not able to gain time as he's at risk of now losing second place to Zachary Bardsley. Bardsley put down a fast lap in qualifying of 14.25. That was it was good enough for probably 3rd because he tied.
Yeah, absolutely. As these guys are just flat getting it right now as we are quickly approaching the halfway mark of this second heat race. Fenstermaker, Beardsley, Strickler, Eiler, Reynolds, Laudermouth as side by side for second place right now. Here we go. Slide job, no, denied. Strickler hangs on to second.
He's going to try it again, though. He might have him this time. Strickler went way wide there, couldn't capitalize on the momentum, and now he's going to send it on the inside, a little bit of contact. He's going to try to cut down, get the run up off. You see that left front tire lifting up off, and you see how early he turns in. He was mid straightaway when he turned in for the corner. 3 wide for second place, and these two are still not giving it up, Strickler and Bardsley. Eiler is trying to work the inside. We saw Eiler with a strong run of the 410s. We've got 3 laps to go. We're coming up on those popsicle sticks you mentioned. And now a new second place runner as another slide job comes taking place.
Crossover from the 11 of Beardsley, able to hang on to second for now. 2 laps to go. Here we go. Eiler and Strickler side by side for third. Still side by side. White flag in the air. Fenstermaker just has to keep it clean and off the wall. Fenstermaker is pretty much academic, going to come home with a victory. Second place, Beardsley, Strickler, Eiler just slugging it out right now. One final dive bomb
Into
from
the wall
Eiler on
goes-
Strickler, and Eiler's around.
Eiler's going to lose the transfer to the redraw after a last-ditch effort on the final lap to try to take away the...
Gave the final redraw to
man.
Dean Reynolds. Craig Laudermilk coming home in 5th. Eiler going to be relegated to 6th. So not the night he was hoping for so far. As that is going to do it for
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
that, as warm-up session going up right now. So we are just waiting on the redraw as cars start rolling for the warm-up session. One final look at the track before they turn them loose.
And it would appear, given the short field, the lack of on-track activity, because of that, we do not have any farming going on with the track. This is exactly what we ran in the heat races. Nothing has changed. These guys are just going to try to get used to it, work it in a little bit more to their liking. Because what do we got, another 35-lap feature?
50.
50-lap feature, and that is a long time for this track to change, to work in. We are going to see a lot of shiny slick stuff as the sun goes down. I don't think we'll be a night by the time this thing finishes, but we're going to see a lot of that shiny black stuff on the inside.
Very much so. But, the good thing is this Georgia clay doesn't usually go dry slick as quick as the stuff from up here in the Northeast. But we are seeing a little bit more dust than we did at Weedsport.
Yeah, definitely a lot more dust.
But quick look at the point standings. Josh Piquel with a 71 points lead over Chris Roberts, who currently sits in second. Roberts, though, with 119 points to the good over Zach Beardsley in third, who has another 47 over Kyle Stoltz, who is another 50 points to the good over Eric Tupper. Then it gets a little tight. Mason Hannigan only 2 points out from Tupper. Andrew Clark is 32 points back from Hannigan. Then you got Bragman, Fenstermaker, and Detweiler rounding out your top 10 in points right now. With only 2 races left, I think it's pretty academic that the 33 of Josh Piquel is going to claim the Season 2 Big Block Modified Championship. Unless something goes horribly wrong. And that is going to do it for the for the hot lap session here just before the A feature. As we are just waiting to see what the redraw looks like. I did not see a redraw, so it looks like we might not be doing a redraw tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't look that way. Everything has gotten together pretty quickly here, so looking like Joshua Piquel is going to be our pole sitter.
Yep.
With Scott Fenstermaker on his outside. Then we've got Greg Capel in third place, followed by Zachary Beardsley, fourth. Kevin Hanley rounding out our top 5. We got Brett Strickler in 6th, Darren Detweiler in 7th, Dean Reynolds in 8th, Chris Roberts 9th, and oh, now things have shifted. Chris Roberts in 9th, Craig Laudermilk in 10th. I apologize if I said that wrong.
No, you're right. That's the way I was going to say it.
Kyle Stoltz and Braden Eiler rounding out our field here. 50 laps at Lanier Speedway. Getting ready to come to you here.
Absolutely. You want a jet fighters in the gymnasium? You got 468 cubic inches on racing gas here tonight at Lanier. Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best. You've got the best. The ground-pounding, earth-shaking beasts of the Northeast. The DOB Big Block Modifieds. The only thing that's left to do as the pace truck gets ready to haul it on off is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety hunters, make sure the steering wheel's on nice and tight, because race fans, it's showtime!
Am I ever going to not get goosebumps hearing that? The answer is no. It's a beautiful call to start this race, and we've already got side-by-side and almost three-wide action throughout the pack coming up off of turn number 4. Up next to the wall, there's Brett Strickler trying to be the high-side tickler. We saw him running that line in the heat race, trying to work it in. As you're going to see, this group works its way up the racetrack throughout the course of a 50-lap race.
Absolutely. It's Pikel and Keppel right now running that, not quite the actual cushion, but just below that cushion, where there's still a ton of grip. As we see the 11 of Beardsley running the ultra low line right now, trying to make the bottom feeder line happen. As he throws the slide job on the 3 of Fenstermaker coming out of 2. Fenstermaker dives it going into 3.
He's going to try that slide job right back on him, but a run to the outside for Beardsley is going to keep him in contention to keep this 4th spot. He's rocking that outside right up on the cushion, gets a nice run coming up off of 2, hoping to hold that spot as we got a crash behind him. The car is flipped into turn number 3. I believe that was Brett Strickler who has
Yes, it was.
gotten off the track, and that's going to bring out the caution flag. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what happened there. Brett Strickler with a wild ride down the back straightaway. And
Just caught the wall with the right front.
yeah, we'll rewind here just a touch. Apologize for... Yeah. Coming up off of 2, just tags that wall and jumps up. That right front's going to grip up. He drives up the wall, and it just turns him over. Grips the dirt, barrel rolls a few times, and it's a disappearance. Maybe a faulty deal on my computer, but I can assure you.
No, that's not you. There's that where they have the haulers parked on the outside of turn 3.
Yeah, no,
he went through there.
Okay, yep. No, we see he's jumped to pits immediately. That was definitely not a tow. That was a...
Correct.
That was just getting launched off the racing map. But these guys are already doubled up, ready to go once again. Pace truck's going to make that hard left. Joshua Pikel and Greg Keppel on the front row. Green flag back in the air, and a nice jump for Pikel. He's going to try to hold that spot over Greg. Going down into turn number 1, holds that outside lane, takes that line away. Another side-by-side for second.
Hanley on the low side, Keppel on the high side. Hanley trying to make the low lane work as they are 3 wide behind them. Beardsley, Fenstermaker, and Detweiler and Roberts all throwing haymakers at each other right now. A lot of battling going on here in the early segment of this one. Pikel, though, in control of this one. Your current points leader, and this is pretty much going to clinch it tonight if he can win here at Lanier.
I just want to take a look at this camera angle here. I'm a big fan of it. We're watching the 12 car here of Braden Eiler. You can see him in the car, working that wheel, back and forth, sawing left and right, just to try to get the perfect run off the corner, trying to set the car up just right so that when those tires grip, they spin the least amount. You can see him working hard in there as he is at the back of a 5-car gaggle. Into the wall is the 3 of
Detweiler.
310 there of Detweiler.
Yeah, it's a 3D.
The 3D, yes.
As
3 wide here once again.
jeepers.
These camera angles at the track are a little bit tough. Somebody hit the commitment cone, pushed it out onto the racetrack. That's more than likely not going to be a debris caution, but
No, that won't be.
as the race for the lead is heating up once again. Joshua Patel with just over a car length separating him from Greg Keppel.
Connection issues for Scott Fenstermaker right now is, oh, that's not good. 4-digit ping. He's pretty much done for.
Not unless something gets figured out real quick on his end. That's a tough one to come back from as he currently sits 2 laps down. We'll see what happens if he can reconnect and get back in it. As the battle for 4th place.
Nope, throughput.
That's a tough deal for Scott. He was running fast at the beginning, put down some good laps and hot laps, qualified well, and tough deal for him. Got 2 almost separate packs going on. The lead 3 have drifted away by about a second or so, a second and a half. Ogre 4th on back as that 4th place battle stays on the wire. Zachary Bansley trying to hold on against Braden Eiler.
Absolutely. Is Eiler using the high line to his advantage. Rim riding right now, almost putting it up on the Larson line here at Lanier. As finally the 110 of Kevin Hanley jumps up to the cushion, knowing that the bottom lane is, and just as I said, he goes right back down to the bottom in 1 and 2, pulls alongside a Hanley for second. Going to throw the slider
the back straightaway.
Little bit as wrestles second away from Capel. Now sets his sights on trying to reel in Pickle.
Yeah,
Josh Pickell showing the way. Pickell showing the way. Hanley, Keppel, and Eiler, as Eiler's got some big moves to try to make here to try to reel in these top 3 if he's got any hopes of putting one on the podium.
We talk about how much this track is going to change. We're 20 laps in, and look at how far up next to the wall that cushion is throughout turns 1 and 2. It's not quite as high in 3 and 4, but it's still moving up. But you can tell through 1 and 2 how much this track has already changed, and we're not even at halfway.
You are correct, sir. We are fast approaching the halfway mark, as these guys are just right now turning laps, as Eiler reeling in Keppel ever so slightly every lap. He had almost a 10th on him, had 3/10 on him that time. Really closes the distance. What was almost a second lead is now down to about 2 car lengths.
This race for 3rd place is definitely heating up. It's getting closer, but the race for the lead has not dropped off whatsoever. Kevin Hanley still trying to work that bottom lane. He moves to the outside that time, kind of a middle, a little bit, a lane or so under where Josh Pickell is running. Now he's going to try that bottom once again. Pickell gets right up next to the wall. I thought he was going to touch it there, but he kept it off. And
Hanley doing what he has to. I mean, Hanley right now is searching for anywhere where there's grip that Pickell is not running. And I got to give hats off to him for not being afraid to experiment like he is. And the fact that those two are running the way that they are, they're starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Greg Capel, as Capel now has to defend against Braden Eiler heavier and heavier with every lap we go.
Yeah, we saw Braden Eiler. He was kind of smooth and consistent throughout the last race in the earlier portion of the show. We saw him move his way up to second, so I would expect him to be a late player in this one as he gets a strong run to the outside, has to check up just a bit, touches the wall up off of turn number 2, and there goes Kevin Hanley down to the inside of Pickell, gets the front end in front for just a moment there through 3 and 4, but not quite enough to get the job done. Trying it once again, gets in front by just a foot or 2. Could this be a good strategy here? Inching away, getting a foot by foot, stays with them there, coming across the line, and now touching the wall. There was Joshua Pickell. This battle is heating up for the race lead. Hanley is not giving an inch. He's trying to play it inch by inch as he's almost clear. I don't know who led that lap. That was super close.
That was Pickell by 22 thousandths of a second.
I think Hanley's got him this time.
Maybe.
At least across the line. Huge run
Yep.
by Mikel on the outside, but Hanley is just trying to get every foot he can. Gets a nice run up off of 2. Man, there's not enough straightaway time for that outside to be as dominant as Mikel wants it to be. It's almost clear.
Eee.
Kevin Hanley tries to get up and clear and realizes, thinks better of it. And now he's going to clear him down the back straightaway. And to the inside now goes Josh Mikel. He hasn't run the inside almost all race, so we'll see how that works. It doesn't quite work out for him. We've got a new leader in Kevin Hanley.
Hanley and Pical just throwing haymakers at each other right now to get the race lead on this one. As Eiler and Capel continue to do battle for the final step of the podium. They are 2.5 seconds to the good over 5th place, Zach Beardsley. Beardsley, though, you got to think is in the catbird seat. That should anything pop off in front of him, he's going to have enough time to duck and dodge. Right now, Hanley, Pical, Eiler, Keppel, your top 4, as we've got 36 of 50 in the books. Hanley showing the way, the only one really making that low line work right now, as it's starting to get a little bit greasy down there, but he doesn't seem to care. Keeping it wound up there on the low lane. Pical getting some good runs off the corner, but as you mentioned, Liam, not a long enough straightaway to really pay enough dividends.
Well, you see these runs kind of getting a little bit bigger, and I wonder if that bottom line is just greasing up a little bit more than Hanley wants it to. That's where he's been comfortable running, and Pical's been comfortable running the top. You see how much that cushion has moved up through 3 and 4. So, yeah, I really don't know. We've got the tale of two racing lines working here, and they're completely working in completely different ways. Right now, the inside's working just a little bit better for Hanley, but the runs on the outside are definitely still existing for Josh Pical. He's got 11 laps rather, 10 and a half, 10 to go this time. So we've got a spinner on the inside, got to the pit lane, doesn't look like it'll bring out a caution.
Craig Laudermilk.
Laudermilk is spun out, and back to the bottom goes Pical. We're going to have to see if he can get as versatile as Hanley got there at the middle to late stages of this run earlier.
While we were watching that slugfest for the lead, Braden Eiler did wrestle third spot away from Greg Capel, as Keppel not able to maintain pace. Is now Eiler sets his sights on trying to reel in the top 2, as we are going to be 8 to go this time across the stripe. Hanley, Pical, Eiler, your podium currently, as these guys are just picking them up and laying them down here in the DOB Big Block Modified A feature.
Yeah, Eiler is slowly but surely gaining on these guys. He's gaining a couple tenths a lap. It might not be enough, but if these guys get to racing in front of him, he might be in the catbird seat. He might be in the best seat in the house to be able to capitalize on these guys racing hard, maybe take a victory here. Finished second earlier tonight as we have 6 laps to go. Eiler finished second earlier tonight, definitely wants to get a win to cap off his very successful evening. As he moves to the inside of Josh Pical, trying to make it work, he slides up just a little bit. He's going to dive back down to that bottom to try to complete the pass, slides up just a little bit in the run on the outside with less than 5 to go. You've got to wonder, oh, and there's contact! Contact between second and third place. They get back going. I don't think we've got a caution. No caution.
No, but that's going to let Greg Capel get into second place, as that just changed the entire dynamic of this race. As we are 3 to go, Kevin Hanley in complete command of this one right now. Greg Keppel trying to run for his racing career right now to try to hold off points leader Josh Pical.
Little contact on the front, racing for the back here. The lead is basically settled. 2.5 seconds separate Kevin Hanley and Greg Capel. So we've got 2 laps to go. Car in the wall coming up off of turn number 4, but that doesn't matter at this point. Kevin Hanley has 2.5 seconds to the good. Greg Capel is taking the white flag this time around, rocking that middle to bottom line just as he has all night, making it work. Coming down the back straightaway through just a couple more corners. Kevin Hanley is going to get himself a dominant win here in the Big Block Modifieds at Lanier in the DOB Big Block Series.
Absolutely. Greg Capel hanging on for second. Josh Pical rebounding for third. Braden Eiler relegated to fourth after starting real deep in the field. Actually started shotgun on the field.
Yeah, our biggest mover of
Chris
the night.
Roberts rounding out your top five. Zach Beardsley, Kyle Stoltz, Darren Detweiler, Dean Reynolds, Craig Laudermilk, Scott Fenstermaker, and Brett Strickler. As we are just waiting on our top three to get into the into the Discord server. As we've got one of the three. There he is. We are going to reach out now to the man of the hour, driver of the 110. After having a 410 sprint race, he just as soon forget. Comes in and just hands everybody their lunch in the big block modifieds. Congratulations, Kevin Hanley. You got your mic muted, sir.
Muted at the moment. Give him just a few. Give him a moment here to get himself situated. And
Yeah.
You got me?
yeah,
We got you now, sir. Congratulations on the victory here at Lanier.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. It feels good. That's the first race I've won in a long time, so it feels good to get it done.
Well, you were one of the only guys that made that bottom lane work all night long. How did you do it?
I don't know. I just stayed down there the whole time, pretty much. Top in 3 and 4 was a little bit faster early on, but then everyone stayed up top in 1 and 2, and I felt like I was making up time there, and just kept hitting it every lap. So I feel like when everyone else tried to move down there, they didn't hit it quite as good.
Well, Kevin, you definitely you had one of the cars to beat all night long. You were quick in the hot lap session. You were quick in the heat race, and you really made it show during the A feature here. Next week, though, we go to the Last Great Coliseum. Your thoughts going into Bristol next week?
Ooh, Bristol's a tough track. I'm going to try to make it out. See if I can get another top 3 run. I think winning it there is probably a long shot. It's not my favorite track, but I'll give it a shot.
Well, Kevin, before we let you go celebrate the victory here at Lanier, who do you need?
Yeah, I just want to thank Chris and everyone at DOB for putting on the series. It's always fun coming out and racing with these guys, and yourself for putting on the broadcast. We all appreciate it.
Kevin Hanley, again, congratulations on winning here at Lanier tonight. We'll see you next week at Bristol.
Thank you.
So that was our winner, and Liam, I believe you have a surprising second place with you now.
Yeah, Greg, that definitely didn't come easy, that second place you had, but towards the end of the race, you kind of got back up there and started passing guys again. What was the biggest thing you noticed about how the track changed throughout the course of this race?
I mean, typically Lanier, I think, is a top dominant track, but that bottom came in and it was really fast. Once I got back and forth, I just trying to follow Braden around, trying to find some kind of speed, and it doesn't hurt following a pro driver around either. But then I got up my break there and managed to get back in second. So I'm pretty excited. It's my first broadcasted interview, so.
Well, hell yeah, buddy. We're glad to have you. Walk us through that. You saw that contact up there for second place. Walk us through kind of the avoidance/recovery from that moment.
Yeah, I saw Braden drive in just a little too hard and kind of get into Josh there, and I already had committed to the bottom. I was just hoping they didn't drift down, and luckily they slid up out of my way. So, yeah, like I said, that was my lucky break of the race.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic drive from you with a little bit of luck sprinkled in at the end. Glad to have you finishing second. Who do you want to shout out here before we let you go?
I'd like to thank out to Chris for putting on the DOB big block races and you guys for broadcasting. I think it's awesome. And then Team SSR for helping me become a better driver and just learn how to race and race respectfully. So, yeah.
Well,
All right,
rock on,
Greg,
man.
again,
Thank you for joining us here, and congrats again on a second place finish.
Yeah, thank you guys.
we'll see you next week at Bristol, Greg.
Yep, see ya.
So that was our second place finisher, Greg Keppel. And joining us now, the man who I believe just clinched the points championship here tonight, Josh Piquel, our third place finisher. Josh, congratulations.
Thank you.
How difficult a season was this for you here tonight? I know it was vastly different than what you experienced in season one of the big blocks.
Yeah, it was tough, man. Everyone's gotten it's gotten real fast. Competition's real close. A lot of good racing. Yeah, it's rough. It ain't easy being on top three.
Absolutely, but we've seen you, put it on in the podium more times than not this season, and that's really, the consistency that you've shown all season long has really been paying dividends. Talk us through, with about 5 to go, what you saw happen.
Yeah, I was just Kevin, man. He was super strong down low. I could get up to him, but I didn't want to bump him or anything. And that's not the way I want to pass somebody. So I tried the top. He'd pull away from me a little bit, so I'd go back to the bottom, and I was just hoping all the guys behind me were running the top, so it'd kind of build up a cushion, so I could get something to shoot off of for down the straightaway. But yeah, other than that, it was a fun race racing with Greg and Kevin up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you and Braden get into it a little bit there with about 5 to go. Any sharp words after the race for that one?
No, I went back and watched. I think it was more of a racing deal. I changed up my line, and he probably wasn't expecting it. Yeah, I just had to try something new, and 'cause I was falling back, and yeah, he wasn't. I think he was expecting me to stay on the top.
Well, Josh, we go into a track that you've done quite well at in the past, the Last Great Coliseum with Bristol next week. Your thoughts going into that one?
That's anybody's game there. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of that track. Gaining a little bit of hope in the 410s, but any other car, man, it feels like it's pavement, really.
All right, Josh, who do you need to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I gotta thank all the guys over at Most Wanted Motorsports for all the help, in these cars and the sprint cars, especially Darren and Craig. Methanol Mafia Productions, Detweiler Designs, and Design Metal Art. Chris for putting on this league. It's always fun to race with these guys. It's a great bunch of guys. And you guys for broadcasting them each time.
All right, Josh Piquel, congratulations on the podium here tonight. And we should have confirmation before next week's race starts as to if you did clinch or not.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
All right. So that was our podium. And Liam, your first complete night of DOB dirt racing in the books. Your takeaway from tonight.
Man, this racing was absolutely insane. These guys were not giving an inch the whole time, and I was just in awe of what I was seeing. A, because these guys had the balls to make these moves, and B, because they were making it work. Like, I was completely blown away with the action and just the talent that I was able to see here tonight. And yeah, I said it before. I'm super thankful to have been able to have been a part of it because, yeah, I mean, this was a blast. It was thoroughly. I mean, it was great racing all night, good storylines, and yeah, I mean, no shortness of controversy or anything. We definitely had plenty of beating and banging, but such a great night of intense dirt track racing at some of the best tracks with some of the best drivers.
Absolutely. Is it safe to say we made you a dirt convert tonight?
Oh yeah, I am. I'm in it now.
All right. Well, that is about going to do it for us here from the DOB Dirt Night. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. Race 1 of the round of 8 from Daytona at night in the trucks. That'll be James Riles and myself in the booth for that one. But tonight, for Mr. Liam Ervig in the production truck. This is Tony Trapassa. Remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.